Call to order, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call to the community. This is the time for citizens who would like to address the commission on any non-agenda item. Action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to asking staff to review the matter, asking that the matter be put on a future agenda, or responding to criticism. I don't believe we had anything hanging from last month, did we?
No.
Okay. Do we have anything this month?
Nope, no request.
Obviously, there's nobody here, but.
Nobody sent anything in.
Okay. Community and Recreation Services Monthly Report, presenter Tricia Kramer, Community and Recreation Services, the awesome Tricia Kramer, I should say, Community and Recreation Services Director.
Thank you, Chairman Taddy and Commissioners. My monthly report is in your agenda packet. I will just go over a few items of note. Probably focus on the rec center facility. Just so you all know, last week there were some heavy winds in the afternoon on, I think it was Tuesday. One of them broke a palm that's in front of the rec center, literally just pulled it straight from that point where they trim, and the whole thing came down. Luckily, no one was hurt. No one was around it. We're thankful for that. And West Coast Arborists, we did an emergency call, and they came out within 2 hours and removed the fallen tree.
Wow.
But that being said, they also did an assessment of the palms at the rec, and they are going to remove those 3 big palms that are in front of the rec center. They just think that, no, they have been trimmed not in the best way, which makes them susceptible.
Yeah, we know.
Susceptible, whatever, to that happening. So for everyone's safety, we're going to remove those, and they're probably going to plant some pygmy palms. So we'll still maintain some palms there, but safe ones.
Wow.
So just wanted you guys to be aware in case anyone asks when they see those trees being taken away from the rec center. Also, last month we added a new pickleball practice pad at the rec center courts. It's been installed and is up and ready for use. It hasn't had a lot of use yet, so anybody that enjoys pickleball or knows those that enjoy pickleball, please encourage them to come test it out so we know if it's something that people like. We're looking forward to it. It's on the north side of the east court.
Outside the fence.
It is on the fence, it's in the courts.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it's attached to the fence.
I have a question. Why is it called a practice pad?
I don't know, that's,
It's kind of like for tennis, they have the wall that you hit the ball.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just like that. But for pickleball, so it has like little
Oh.
areas so you can try.
So you can-
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
if you don't have anyone and you're just out by yourself, instead of hitting it against the wall,
Yeah.
you could kind of try to aim the ball and hitting the
Okay, okay,
different areas.
okay. Thank you.
It's kind of neat. It's got our city logoing and on it and everything.
I'll
so,
try it.
Yeah, please do. Tennis courts, we told you that back in the fall, the basketball courts were restriped, and now the tennis courts will go through the same thing. They should be out there starting on April 20th, and they'll be done by May 1st is the plan. Oh, no. And then, of course, we have 2 seasonal cashier openings for the summer swim season. We've been getting in some applications. We've got some interviews lined up for tomorrow. So hopefully we will fill those spots with some qualified candidates and get them training and ready for the summer season very soon. Lifeguards are being onboarded as we speak. And registration for swim and Legardo swim team opens on the 13th. And we're looking to have the pool deck resurfaced sometime before May 8th. So we're working that out with a contractor as we speak as well. And once we know more on that, we will keep you guys updated. But the plan is to do that just after all the lifeguard recertifications are done and just before Legardo's swim team starts their practices. It's a tight timeline, but they've told us they think they can get it done. The temporary art installation is up finally. For those that don't know, it just happened yesterday. Betsy Andrews, who came out and spoke to you guys and presented her design plan, got it done, and it is now out there. It's called Rollin' Bowls, or Rollin' Bowl, or it's a cotton bowl flower, very colorful. Created with golf balls that the Wigwam donated, that were painted by kids and families that came to the library for
Yeah.
a fun activity to do. And it's neat. It's kid size, kid friendly, totally tactile, touchable. So bring the families on by to see it. And we're hoping that this is the first of hopefully many.
Good.
So this has been a little bit longer process than we had originally anticipated, but it's there and we're excited about it. And it's a nice addition. We had some families that were walking by as it was being installed and we're like, how fun, it's so colorful. So we're excited about it. Community garage sale is coming up on Saturday, the 18th. For those that are interested, we're still accepting signups for that to get your name on the list. And we have a new fitness fest scheduled for Sunday, the 19th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Litchfield Square Park. There'll be, I think it's 15 to 20 vendors out there that are Litchfield Park businesses or West Valley businesses that offer services related to health and wellness. And it's just a way to connect community members with business members that are serving our community. That so feel free to come out. It's a free event, and we're looking forward to introducing that. Preschool is plugging along and doing its signups for the school year and for summer camp, and that is going well. Don't know if any of you had a chance to come out to Easter in the Square on March 28th, but that was a fun time. We had several thousand people out there and kids just attacked about 12,000 eggs immediately. So the helicopter didn't happen. That had to be canceled because of the morning winds. But Goodyear Fire had Old Red bring the Easter Bunny out. So we were quickly able to sub in the fire truck, and that was great. Our last Arts in the Park concert is tomorrow night on the Wigwam lawn. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night, we will be out there from 6 to 8. The City Knights Band is performing. And we're working on stuff for Memorial Day ceremony, Sparkle in the Square, and trying to get things going as well on an America 250 project, which will likely happen in June to coincide with Flag Day. That's it from me, and I will let Pat fill you in on the good stuff sports is working on.
Thank you, Tricia. So sports, we are entering week 3 of our spring season. We ended up having 776 kids registered for soccer, basketball, and flag football. So we're excited to see where the numbers ended up being. And then really the only other big thing was since we last met was we had the annual run on February 28th, and we ended up having 779 people register to in all of the races. So this was definitely the biggest one by far we've had. We had 541 the previous year. So we had a really good jump with registrations on this year. So we were excited to see those numbers and looking forward to trying to improve those and moving forward. So, and that's all I really have for sports.
And then I'll just add one comment on the T-ball infield at Scout Park. We had kind of brought that up to you guys at our last meeting. Public Works is still awaiting quotes on those for consideration, but, our city manager did want us to kind of informally pull you guys to see before we truly move forward with getting these quotes. Do you, as a commission, as representatives of the city, think that Scout Park is a good place to do that ball field? I know we talked about Turtle Park initially, and staff met and has come to the conclusion on our end that we think that Scout Park is a better option for that T-ball infield to be. But before we really go full force on this, we wanted to kind of check with you guys. We'll obviously come back. If you're good with Scout Park, we'll come back with those quotes before we keep moving forward in the process. But
You want
So if anybody
discuss
had
it, or
any-
You wanna,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if anybody has any strong opinions one way or the other.
I was just gonna ask,
Commissioner Gertz.
what were the considerations that made you consider Scout over Turtle Park?
So I think part of it was aesthetics. I know you guys had some concerns about how's it gonna look entering and exiting the community if we put bleachers there and add that infield that way and change some of that up. Part of it was that the backstop that's already at Turtle Park is really in disrepair and probably needs to come down. And the one at Scout Park is still in good condition. It just needs to be shifted a little. Pat, anything else you?
No, I mean, those are our real two big things was just, also it's kind of tucked in where, so when you pull in, it's not, the field's not right next to the street where everyone pulls in, you see the baseball field, and we thought Scout would be a good option where we can have the T-ball playing there, and then we can also move our U6 soccer to Scout, and then move flag football to Turtle, because it would be a bigger grass area where we could possibly put two full-size fields than having to shrink one of the football fields too, so.
Yeah, that was gonna be my main question is that right now you run two flag football fields at Scout Park.
Yeah.
So you think overall you'll get more rectangular space that you can use at Turtle Park if
Yeah.
you move that over to Scout Park?
So yeah, if we move that over, right now we are doing 300 feet for the older kids, and then we had to drop it to the other field down to like 270. So it's not a huge deal, but
Yeah.
they're still not getting the same full size. And if we had enough teams next year, we're moving forward where we have, a junior team on one field and then the other, it's kind of just tough for them, especially not having the consistency of having one field, one game you're doing 300, and then the other one you're doing 270. So we would have a better chance of fitting two full sizes at Turtle because of the field length and grass area they have. So
Is a T-ball infield, is that clay or is that grass still?
I don't know, it'll be dirt.
It'll be dirt.
Yeah, it won't be it won't be like the same size as Stags. It'll be a little bit smaller because it's for T-ball.
Yeah.
But it would still be dirt where they would come out, and it'd just be all dirt and just lined up, just like what Stags looks like and stuff.
when you're talking T-ball, you don't necessarily need to do the outfield fencing as well, right? You could just.
Yeah, no, when it comes down for the T-ball, it'll be, what we're looking for is just the backstop, and then they will add on kind of what Stags has of the benches for the dugouts on the sides, but it won't shut off the grass area at all. Like, it won't be like Jackie where you have the home run or anything like that. It'd still be open space, yeah.
So it'd be, is Stags T-ball or is it baseball?
The field is set up like major, so it's the same length and size as for the Little League field.
Yeah.
But it's not fenced off at all. It's the only fence we have is the backstop and then the surrounding areas by the dugout.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get an idea of how much grass we're losing. The one downside is you've got the playground, then you have kids that play there, like kids playing in the grass, little kids playing in the playground, bigger kids playing there. Then you'd have sort of the same situation that we have at Stags Park, where you're sort of fenced off from all of that, and you've got to go all the way around, and then you've got dirt. I don't know. I don't like losing grass, period, but
Well, if they're like my grandson, he likes the dirt.
yeah.
I think it's a better fit there. and the backstop two situation. Might as well use one that's good.
Would it stay close to where it's already at? Or is it getting moved like maybe a little farther from the playground?
It would move a little bit farther towards the grass area just to give enough room between the sidewalk and the backstop, so it's not, because right now there's not a lot of room behind it. So it would move out further from the playground area, but I don't think that they're planning on moving
Not
it.
by much.
Yeah.
Do we encourage parking to continue as it is now where everybody seems to, well, a lot of people seem to park on the curb there? Or do we direct parking for those leagues into the little dirt parking lot next to the Boy Scouts?
I do try to push them towards the dirt lot by the Boy Scouts. We're talking about trying to actually put lines in there so people would know where to park rather than whoever's the first one, and they just
Pull
park
right in the
wherever.
middle of-
Yeah.
So we're trying to get that lined to do that, but then if that's full, then we do allow parking on the side of the park, but we tell people you can't park on both sides, obviously, because that gets really narrow and all that other stuff.
I don't know about you guys, I would really appreciate if we could have like a visual of what it might look like and how much space we're talking about. I think there's a degree of, that pushing the dugout, pushing the backstop out, okay. Putting all the fencing on the sides and the dugouts, like I'm not honestly a fan of making that area more chain linked.
Yeah, I don't love how it would cut off from the playground, but I wonder if there's another spot in Scout Park. Like if you move it to a different corner, if that would maybe work better.
Mhm.
And I was wondering about the baby playground there. I know there was talk about moving it closer to the road. Does that interfere at all? Or how have we thought about how that all works together?
With the baby playground, I think that they're, correct me if I'm wrong, they were thinking about trying to bring it closer to the other playground
Mhm.
so that you have both playgrounds next to each other. But as far as like the backstop and stuff, we can also possibly try a different corner. So you have the playground, the grass area, and then the field would be on like the opposite side, but we also have to consider the houses on that side to see where, if they want to see a big backstop and area like that too.
Yeah. I don't think that would make them happy.
I know that some of it's on the Chil Elementary School property, but the impression I get is that we have a good amount of baseball, softball, t-ball-esque infrastructure and the fencing that comes along with that isn't particularly beautiful. So like my gut on it is that I don't think the neighbors would appreciate. But backstop and more games and kids playing, sure. Dirt, yeah, probably not an issue. But like the dugouts and everything, I don't know.
Or a way to make it look better? Like it's not just chain link, or maybe it's like a fancy chain link or something that kind of looks a little bit nicer.
You look at
We're
that.
gonna look into it for sure.
And I feel like if we're gonna do it, it's kind of like it's in a bit of a visible spot, at the city center. We should do it right, And I don't know exactly what the whole overall plan is for this park. Like it seems to have changed a lot recently. So I mean, maybe we just do something quick and easy and get it up for the season. And, try and plan more about it long term if we want to get like nicer stuff or put it in a different area. I mean, I think that would make sense too.
And would there be additional fencing past the dugout, or would it stop at the dugout?
It would stop at the dugout.
Is that, I'm sorry, just two questions. I never played t-ball. Are dugouts necessary for t-ball? Because I imagine t-ball, the little kids' balls are not flying like the dugout being a protective measure, is that a nice to have or is it a necessary thing?
It's nice to have.
Okay,
Yeah, currently we have like this portable like benches,
Skiing.
like looks like one of the benches you just, they sit down
Expandable.
and put it behind. It'd be nice to kind of have where the players would put their bets and all that stuff and a bench for them to sit on when they're ready to go bat.
I would then, if that's the case, I would not be in favor of building something similar to what's in Staggs Park and Turtle Park, because it doesn't seem necessary.
How far in would it be moved? Like, I wonder if we could move it in, I'm looking at a map of it, I wonder if we could move it in far enough so that the backstop is like, east of the playground. So it doesn't like cut off access, there's still like a decent amount of grass by the play area. And kind of gets the whole
Like towards the Ramada
gathering
area.
area away from the road. Cause I think if we put it there where it is now, it would be good to have the dugout just as like a barrier from the road. But if we could get it away from the road, then maybe we don't need as much barriers. Maybe we could do some sort of, I don't know, something to make it look less intrusive, I guess.
Do we have to, though, keep in mind that the Scout Lodge is probably gonna go in there at some point in time?
Yeah, I don't think it'll interfere though.
It won't interfere? Okay.
No, the Scout Lodge, that is all dirt.
Yeah, I know it's over in
Oh,
that
it's like
corner,
cut
but
off
if we
in
keep
dirt.
moving stuff to the east, I don't know.
Whatever we do this year, it doesn't mean it's permanent, right? Like if we did something to get us through the season, then we could kind of look at everything and reflect on how well it did afterwards, correct? If it's a matter of non-permanent benches,
Yeah. The only permanent thing really would be the dirt. There would be making the whole thing.
because you're dumping in dirt for the.
Yeah, they would cut off, they would move it, probably work with irrigation and tear the grass out and then put the actual like baseball field.
That's interesting.
Have we thought about on the north side of the park? Cause there's kind of like a less used area up there already,
Mhm.
kind of like that, like grass cutout.
The houses.
Yeah, but it's T-ball. I mean,
there'd be
it lives
back
next to a
stuff.
park.
Could T-ball have a smaller
I don't
backstop
think that
maybe?
there's.
The
already-
backstop that's there is a smaller one than usual. So
Yeah.
that is really, that's,
Oh, that's a
Probably.
good
Yeah,
thing.
we wouldn't change out the backstop, we'd use the one that's currently there.
I think that if I remember right, I think when they put that down, I think it is,
It's over 100
Yeah, it's a
feet.
T-ball size.
There's about 130-foot setback from on the north side.
Yeah, they did it on the south side of the sidewalk up there, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they'd
that's what I
have to,
mean.
yeah.
yeah.
So why don't we get with Troy, our interim public works director. We'll do some measurements, look at some potential options. And come back to you guys with that to see if there is a different way or a different location in Scout Park that we can put it. And if not, at least give you some information on how close it will be to certain things, play area,
Yeah.
future Scout Lodge, all street, all that kind of stuff. And then you guys can, and we'll give you the dimensions so you can have a better idea. But at least we wanted you guys to be thinking about it, and before we go too far,
Mhm. Yeah.
get the input from you guys as to whether you think that this is something the community will be in favor of.
Well, it'll be in use soon, right? Wouldn't it be in use soon, or we're not talking about this year at all? We're talking about future years.
sorry, I got, get that. No, it would be used there. If we're able to get it done, I would be able to open up, other programs where like winter T-ball instead of using Jackie, they can use Stags and then that park, and then I can do possibly a winter pitch.
Did we lose Kristen though?
No, I just admitted her back.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sorry, one more, I do agree, having more programs is good. I'm just trying to figure out how do we do this in a way that like people aren't like, oh, this chain link fence is now like what I drive out and look at every day. Should we think about this in terms of this or that, meaning like, I don't know what the preliminary budget is, but like in terms of if we were gonna spend X amount of money, what are the things to improve rec that we would spend X amount of money on? So is there other like capital improvement sorts of things that we should weigh this against?
So I can tell you that there's already a capital improvement budget for adding a T-ball
Okay.
field. It's just a matter of where we put it and when we do it. So the capital improvement projects are kind of set that way, and we can identify things that we want to happen in terms of rec and parks and recreation, but we can't change out what the designated capital improvement projects are because those are
They're already
put
set.
before council.
Okay.
Yeah, so council is the one that makes those decisions
Been
on
approved
what's a CIP project.
When you bring back more information, can you include some pictures of what the dugout would look like if that's available?
Yeah. So we'll plan for coming back to you guys in May with some of this info. I do know that Troy wants to come in May also to talk about some playground equipment updates potentially at Turtle Park. So maybe we can work on both of those at the same meeting with him.
Should we also throw the, Commissioner Faith mentioned the kids playground, like if we're gonna reshuffle the park, let's think about the whole park and the layout. And just draw out new, like, this is what the future looks like. And it can be phased, it doesn't have to happen all at once.
I definitely agree with that.
Okay.
So it's not all kind of piecemealed together.
We have received your direction.
Is there anything else?
No, I know that was just an item that was on my report that we kind of expanded on, but that's the last thing in terms of our rec report, unless you guys have any other questions for us.
No, I think we're. Commissioner Kristen? No more questions?
No, I don't have any. I mean, I have no, I'm good. I don't have any.
Okay.
I kind of just want to like, we're talking about like the aesthetics of everything. We have so many of them already that are around. I think if we're going to talk about aesthetics, then we need to kind of consider that everything, we already have them, so like, do we really need to go so in depth in what one of them looks like as opposed to all of them? If that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Because like they're all really visible in the park, if we're honest. Like they can all be seen. They're all on kind of main thoroughfares or in super obvious places. So I think if we're gonna talk aesthetics, then we just kind of need to make sure that all of them look like baseball fields and dugouts appropriately, as baseball fields and dugouts should look.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the newer ones are
they are.
pretty well done, like the
Mhm.
Stags Park is, I don't know, from the road, it's, it's nice. It's a whole park.
Yep, I
Parker
agree.
Robinson one is nice where you've got, the play area and the baseball field kind of working together.
Yeah, I agree. That was just kind of my thing is like we're clearly a baseball town. Maybe not everybody's into baseball, but we're definitely a little bit of a baseball town, and we have been for a long time. So I think, I think that really just like, as long as they all look like baseball fields and dugouts, that's kind of important because, and I guess my point to that is those of us who are near them, like we're near them and we see them. And And I think that like if we're gonna take into consideration what neighbors are looking at, then are we gonna consider that for all of the ones that are already there?
It's a very good point.
That's
They
my
know-
2 cents.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I wanted to throw in.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Opportunities for improvement. Presenter Tricia Kramer, Community and Recreation Services Director.
Thank you, Chairman Taddy and Commissioners. I know we have this as a standing agenda item at the moment. We have initiated Engage LP, and I know there are a couple of commissioners that are already, I think the term is constituents on it, and more than that have given their input through it. So thank you all for that. And hopefully you are seeing resolution as you're doing them, and the feedback has been positive so far on it. We're still working through how to get the right reporting. So that may take another couple of meetings before you're seeing any kind of reports, because it's either very limited and will give you how many items were opened for a particular topic, how many days were they open, you know, was there a resolution? So some of those general things, I'm not sure that that's so general that that's probably not what you need or are looking for. But also we don't want to inundate you guys with things that aren't even having to do with rec and public grounds. So we'll try and kind of get that narrowed down a little bit. I can tell you that some of the topics that have come up or are, you know, the lights on the palm trees in the median downtown, that was a recent one. And so that got brought to our attention, and our public works guys got those sensors adjusted. Scout Park irrigation timers have been reset. Thank you, Commissioner Gertz, because I think you were the one that brought that to our attention as well. Things like that. Coyotes,
That was
the
also
injured goose at the lake, you know, some of those things that even those two examples are something that are more in line with game and fish handling or an outside agency handling. And so this way we're able to communicate that back to not just the people that are putting it out there, but anyone can go in and look and see that too. And just the information sharing, I think, has been real positive so far. I hope you guys are seeing that as well. I think some of the topics that we brought up at the last meeting, gophers, that was one of them. Also in the works on being handled, Public Works has hired a third party to work on that. So I don't know if you've had any observations since then, but
It's a war that's never quite over, but
Yeah.
I think we're winning it now.
but at least we might be.
Yeah.
Ebbs and flows, as they say.
Yeah, on the other side of that, park benches, that's something that, we're addressing with Public Works as well. Part of that is a budgeting issue, part of that is a storage issue, but, there are things that are on our radar now that may have fallen off a little bit without the communication from commissioners and the public that way. So far, I think that Engage LP has been good all around for the community. It's been useful, and I hope that more and more people take advantage of it. And then I guess the only other thing is if you guys have any new items that you wanted us to focus on or bring back, do that as well.
I have one question, and I think I've asked this before. Is there any plan to change the background color on the big entry signs, like on the corner of Dysart and Indian School, where the background is pink?
Yes, I know that was an internal discussion just the other day. As to when, I don't have an answer on that, but I
Okay.
know that it has been talked about.
Okay.
We had actually spoken about having all of the signage kind of uniform at 1.2, I believe, or maybe multiple times, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure it didn't start out pink, but.
right, just
So,
over time, that's.
yeah.
One more pink, I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah. But, okay, thank you.
but yeah, so I'll make a note to keep that
Yeah,
on the
keep
radar.
that on the list.
Yeah.
I just have one thing to point out, or maybe just suggest, and I know schedules can't always be adjusted, but the tennis court, like the rec center area in the mornings is blown while drop off is happening. So people are walking through like the clouds of dust next to the tennis courts and stuff in the rec center. And it just blows
Gotcha.
like right through there. So I just kind of wanted to point out that I know it's probably not super easy, but like just either a little bit later would probably help just a little bit because it gets kind of bad sometimes.
Yeah, we'll certainly pass that along to Public Works.
Or possibly even earlier, right? Now that it's
Yeah.
sun's
Yeah.
coming up as early as it
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll bring it to their attention so that they can take a look at their schedules and see if anything can be done that way.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Gertz?
I just want to commend staff for, like, you guys are so responsive on that. And I'm sure it was a bit of a, like, oh no, we're going to open the floodgates of people submitting things. And I've been very, very impressed with how thoughtful the responses are and how prompt and then the resolution of things.
Right.
Whether it's like irrigation leak here, right? And I've probably been, I don't know where I'm in the number of submitters, but I think I'm gonna be, I'd be curious what my
We're
rank
gonna look
is.
for a report.
Yeah. But it's been really nice to be able to have that quick line of communication, the geocoding, the picture of it, like whatever it is, which I'm sure is also helpful for whomever's working on it. If it's an irrigation issue of like, I don't know, somewhere in this park, someone said a sprinkler's broken, like, what do I do? Right, so I've been very happy that we have this.
Who runs it?
So it's tied to our website. So it filters to multiple department heads and
Let's see.
it's kind of tied to what category is submitted. It filters to certain people and then it can be reassigned if it gets to somebody and it doesn't seem like it's the right thing.
I think you're asking who IT technician is. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
person that responds to most.
That is our IT tech, Dawn Morocco. So she keeps an eye on it. So if something does need to be filtered,
I guess I was wondering, where is our public works director? I don't know, we haven't had one, like, I appreciate you guys coming
Yeah.
every single time,
yes.
but I haven't seen a public works guy.
Well, we
here.
have one now, right, Mr. Troy?
We have an interim public works director, Troy White. Yes, he'll be here next month. He did have a conflict. We are also, I don't know if you guys are aware, restructuring a little bit of how public works is aligned, organized. So we are in the process of onboarding a new facilities manager, which is a new position for the city, which is fantastic from our perspective because we would love to have someone with expertise that has eyes on the rec center on a routine basis, and that person will have eyes on all of our city facilities. That will be their focus, their main job. I think there is also a public grounds superintendent. I might be getting the exact title wrong, but that person will more or less fill the public works director spot. But I don't have the details on who they are and when they're starting. I know that it's in the near future. And those are two supervisory roles that will, I think, have an impact on the city and will start to be a part of
Okay.
the commission again, so that we have some public grounds, public facilities knowledge that's here each month as well.
You do an amazing job at filling in for that. I don't know how, but I think that would be great to have two here to make up for the last year, 6 months or however long it's
Yeah.
been.
Yeah,
It's been a
At least
transition.
one, you know?
Yeah. But the current interim, he's a contract person. He is not intending to be the permanent person, so we're working with what we've got, and he is doing a fantastic job of trying to help get us caught up on some things and help point out some stuff in fresh pair of eyes, so he's been great to work with, and I'm sure when you see him next month, he'll answer a lot of questions in more detail than I can on some of the stuff. So if you have anything that you've been thinking about, keep those for me, and I'm sure he'll do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other than that, unless you guys have any new stuff, but to take back from the commission as a whole to the city, then I would just encourage you guys to keep using Engage LP, because it does, I think, work well and speeds up the process on a lot of things because everybody's eyes are on it. Staff, council, residents, so.
Real good.
Excellent. Here's some fun parts. Business. Election of officers. Presenter, Tricia Kramer, Community and Recreation Services Director. Discussion and possible action to elect a chairperson and a vice chairperson for the Recreation and Public Grounds Commission for the 26-27 term.
Thank you, Chairman Taddy and Commissioners. It is that time of year again where once a year, each year, typically right after any new appointments are made, we come back to you guys and ask you to appoint vote on a chairperson and a vice chairperson for the year. And that is where we're at the moment. And just as a side note, I'd like you guys to congratulate Commissioner Gertz because he has been reappointed to the commission.
Yeah. We couldn't do it without you.
No,
Although we had to for some time, but then you came back.
Yeah, but to guys.
So how do we go about this? Can I nominate?
Exactly, yes.
Okay,
Anybody can nominate.
so anybody can nominate. All right, well, I would like to, I guess, keep it moving the way it has been, so I will nominate Vice Chairperson Andy again for another term.
I'll second that.
Are we ready to vote? Are there any questions or concerns?
Or do you want to be the chairman? Do
Do we have
think?
to ask
Is
her,
he
or
like
can we just
edging
make her
you?
do it?
He's like putting you in the second slot so you can't jockey for the first.
I mean, either way, yeah.
I think maybe we might want to do the president part first. I'm not saying no, but maybe we should do the president part first. I don't want to nominate Anthony unless Anthony wants to do it, but otherwise I would keep things going in the same vein. But I think that's your call at this point.
Yeah, I'm down.
You're down?
Yeah.
I'll second that. I think that was that was a motion. Just tag.
How long is this good for?
Essentially till this time next year.
Okay.
So each March is when new appointments are,
Okay,
if any positions open.
okay.
Are there any questions or concerns? Right now, we have one nomination for me to continue on as chairperson. We can
I'll
just
second
vote,
that.
right?
I'll second that nomination or whatever it's
I
called.
don't think you can second it if you
Oh.
did it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I do appreciate
But
it.
I'll do
I
it.
think-
But I'll do it.
It
Yeah.
should be
Okay.
seconded.
All right, so if there's no question or concerns, all in favor of continuing with myself as
Do you
chairperson?
say your full name for us?
Anthony today or Taddy, whichever you prefer. For the chairperson of the RPG Commission for Litchfield Park, say aye.
I,
All opposed? Okay, thank you, guys. The ayes have it. I'm sticking around. So does that mean we can now return to my nomination?
That's wise.
All
Can I
right,
just make one editorial comment?
of course.
Okay, I'm being very honest here. I've been on here for a really long time and I feel like I do represent the senior portion of us. And I'm not gonna go anywhere fast. But if there is one of you younger folks that would like to take this over, that's fine with me. I'm happy to do it again. But if there is one of you three that, you know, wants to jump on in here, you're not gonna hurt my feelings or anything. So I'm just,
What does the vice president do?
not a whole lot unless something.
Fills in if Anthony's not
Fills in,
here.
Yeah, you know, so I'm just saying, I probably will retire after the hill gets done, just saying, so you can have your chance
That's not gonna
then.
happen. We're not gonna let you.
So, but yeah, I'm happy to do it again, but if somebody else would like to, I don't care, you know, I'm happy to do it. But if somebody else wants to give it a shot, I'm open.
Well, I am gonna nominate again Vice Chair Andy Phillips to continue as Vice Chair of RPG.
I'll second.
Are there any questions or concerns? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so let it be.
I appreciate your comments too.
I appreciate just everything. Okay,
Congratulations.
thank you. Orange Tree Painting Event. Presenter me. Discussion and possible action on matters related to,
2 minutes.
We skip.
oh, pardon me, did I say? Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Approval of minutes, discussion and possible action to approve the February 12th. No, that would be no, we didn't have a March meeting. That's
No,
right on
March, yeah.
money. Yep, February 12th, 2026, regular meeting minutes. Presenter Tricia Kramer.
Thank you, Chairman Taddy and Commissioners. The draft minutes are in your agenda packet, and if anybody would like to move to approve or propose any changes to the chair.
Move to approve the minutes from the February 12th meeting.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, thank you. Are there any questions or concerns? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Minutes are approved from the February 12th, 2026 regular meeting.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Orange Tree Painting Event. Presenter me. Discussion and possible action on matters related to the Orange Tree Painting Event. You know, I was looking over some notes from our post get together over some coffee, and I thought I was just really impressed. We had about 100 the first day, and then we had somewhere around 65, I think, the second day. And those numbers are a little bit lower, I think, than what we've had in some previous years, but we still got all of our targets done. We still got the streets done, and we had some leftover paint, so we didn't exactly run out of paint in the middle of it, which is fantastic. There's, I guess, one consideration that I kind of had, and we all kind of have talked about this, or at least thought about it at previous meetings. So right now we're still running the 2 days. Perhaps one day we're in a position where we could do it all in just one day. Now with 100 people on Saturday, there is a considerable amount of work still to be done on the following day on Sunday. So it's, you know, it's gonna be tough to move it to one day unless you kind of stretch it out, maybe past lunch.
Yes, maybe you have 2 shifts, or is that too much for the staff to manage? You know what I mean? So you could sign up for a
Mhm.
morning or afternoon shift. This year it would have not been good to be the afternoon because it was hot. But would that work?
Well-
I think the issue, well, the problem with 2 days is having to like clean everything and then
Reset up and
reset up everything twice with a limited number of
mhm.
us that can make it. And it's like, it's a lot of work on the commissioners that do show up.
So to that point, I brought up again with the city that perhaps we're borrowing somebody from the grounds crew,
Yeah.
and we're also borrowing some equipment possibly, but we didn't get an answer back yet. We don't know, but we have put it out there. We floated it.
I think as
Which-
far as staffing, like that should be a requirement, you know, like if we're gonna do this for Public Works, really like they should be there at least to help, like one person to help or kind of oversee for 4 hours. So I think if we really push for it, then they'll be there. That's what I'm
It
saying.
makes sense, because at the end of, when we started this, the whole idea was that we're going to assist in an area that we otherwise have to pay for and we get the community involved. So I don't think it's a lot to ask to have that level of involvement.
Well, and I think the community aspect is really caught on. So that's a good thing. And it would just make it easier for us, I hate to say, if we did have a public works person helping us.
Yeah, and we did have Chairman Teddy and I did have a recap with Melvin, who you met at the last meeting from Public
Mhm.
Works. He was, the one that helped get a lot of the supplies and kind of prep that for us this year. And from his perspective, Public Works would be open to having someone or one or two that can be there next year and possibly drive the gators, that kind of stuff to really help us out.
Which is always a challenge for us, no matter
Yeah.
whether we have a couple of commissioners running. I'm sorry, was your hand up? I was looking away.
No, I was just readjusting.
Okay. But yeah, getting the paint, just circulating the neighborhoods as quickly as we can is a huge goal. And it, you know, if somebody's sitting there without any paint for a while, then, you know, we're gonna lose them. You know, but it was actually very interesting too, because with fewer people this year, we got, you know, about the same amount of stuff, same amount of trees painted. Which is, it kind of makes you wonder, right? Like, how does that work?
I think the new
Some of those
brushes
high school
were
groups weren't with
well
us.
received.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They cut down the amount of work probably in half.
Yeah, those,
but that was what a great idea we had there, like, you know, from Commissioner Faith, making sure that like he was saying, hey, we need to get better brushes, better quality brushes, and you really
That
can tell the
helps, too.
difference.
yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
You know, and even while you're painting, you can tell the
Yeah.
difference. So that was, you know, a really wonderful thing, and that's a good part to consider. And then another part to consider was, perhaps in order to get more availability from our community, not having this right on top of a spring break would be something, and we've mentioned this before. So maybe this is something, maybe this is the year we make a move on it, where instead of painting them in the springtime, we look at another time of year to do this.
I think if I remember right, now was the best time because we're putting a fresh coat on before it gets hot. And we're not, but we can ask Public Works if that's
There
accurate.
was like reseeding issues too, and there
Yeah.
was, you know what I mean, there was turf issues.
There's always other events
Event
going on.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we're painting them consistently every single year, The paint will hold up fairly well.
Yeah, and in our discussion with Melvin, he did say, I think, that if we did a January or February timeframe, February possibly being more ideal, that it still could work.
Mhm.
So even if maybe we just push it forward a couple weeks,
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
that might free up some of the other commissioners that are typically,
yeah.
you know, having to decide between spring break and
Painting orange.
this, you know, so.
Sorry, the orange tree lost.
Yeah.
It'd probably be ideal to do it, because I think we do it after overseeding. Like, there's always nice
Yeah.
grass up when we're doing it,
Mhm.
but there's gotta be a period where like they cut off the water to the grass.
They
Like that,
overseed in
and-
the fall, so that's, you know, because that was one of my thoughts too, like how close to that can you get? Because there was always a window where they were like, no, we don't want anybody on the grass.
Well, yeah, but not in January, February. That's.
Yeah, it's a moot point for that time of year.
Yeah.
It doesn't even come into
That's all in the
play.
fall.
Why couldn't we do it in February?
Yeah.
Were there other
Well, we
plans?
can.
We could,
We
yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I think it was by the time we got to talking about it, the schedule was too packed to do it in February, if I recall correctly, but.
Okay.
So I guess for, you know, just the timing purposes, we would need to start our discussions in the fall as well. Probably the early fall, and just say, okay, so what time of year do we want to do this? And go from there.
Mhm.
So we should probably wait until, you mentioned some staff changes that are coming up, like when we have those folks in place, would probably be a good time to have the discussion. 'Cause we don't have
Maybe
to wait
once
till
the school
fall.
schedules are published for
Yeah,
maybe at that time frame.
Well, and I think their break is always that second week.
Mhm.
Or within a week or so of that.
Yeah, I mean, I know next year's calendar is already out for LES, but
we have more and more kids that are going to different.
different
schools that have
Yeah,
different
yeah.
spring break schedules, so it's.
well, I got so inspired, I went home and did mine.
Nice.
Same.
So on the subject of the 1 day versus 2, I think I'd be in favor of 1 day. One, I think that if we just did 1 day, I don't think that means that everybody that came on Sunday definitely couldn't come on Saturday. They might just chosen Sunday when they had a choice between the 2 days. I know there's some groups that maybe couldn't come on Saturday, but even if we had less people and we couldn't paint every tree, I think that's still okay. Like it's our goal to paint all the trees, but it's not a requirement. Like,
So when we sat down, we talked a little bit about what it would look like to change everything from the 2 day to the 1 day. And I think more planning is definitely something that we talked about for a little while, but also it would be really crucial to the success of, you know, what we're able to get done now with 2 days versus 1 day. And, you know, some ideas were thrown around. Maybe we have like tables set up around the city, like almost like a station where we could, you know, have like.
more supplies and stuff.
Yeah, so like, and then we could move those tables with whatever golf carts or cars, or, you know, if we are to get like the gators or whatever, move those around as people are finishing them. And,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, there's a lot of little things we could do to kind of support that transition. I think I'm more in favor of 1 day too. Like after doing this a few years now, and yeah, I think I'm starting to feel the 1 day a little bit better.
and I agree with Brian. I think if people go, oh, we only have 1 day, then they're gonna go, yeah, I'm gonna do it. We could try it.
We could do 2 shifts the first time to make sure we have enough. But I don't know, I do feel like we have gotten, I mean, maybe have gotten in the way a little bit of like the people doing it, you know, like you were saying, if they run out of paint, or, you know, they're waiting for us to mix the paint or whatever. So if we can have, I think having Public Works there to help, I'm not asking them to volunteer, you know, they'll be paid probably time and a half or whatever. to just kind of keep it more structured and, you know, have the gator to bring the tables and the supplies out and just know that we have enough people to lead it.
Yeah, I think
Like,
that,
we could easily do one day.
Yeah.
And if we do it in February, we could go longer in the day. 'Cause even, I mean, even last year it was getting hot, like noon or whatever.
2 shifts would help with any sort of bottlenecking. So let's say we get 75% of the people that would come on Sunday, come on Saturday. Well, then we have more of a bottleneck of paint distribution and those sorts of things, right? So we spread that over 2 shifts. It'll probably help, and it would probably give, even if we told the people that we're doing it on Saturday today, and it's all the people we got, they have an AM shift and a PM shift, they're not all gonna pick one. So that would distribute the demand a bit.
Well, you could even do a staggered start one at 8 and one at 9 or one at 9:30 or.
Yeah, but then you have the demand overlap between the two and paint distribution still.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we might be able to capture more people if we're not telling them to get there at 7 AM on a Saturday.
Very good point there. Very good point there.
If you could show up whenever,
Yeah,
between 7 and 10 or.
What I've noticed is our sweet spot for volunteers seems to be, like a minimum of like 80 to 100. Like having that many people gives us multiple groups that we can kind of set in different directions. And it, you know, we cover the most ground, it seems like. I don't think we've really had a hard time getting that many volunteers, especially for the Saturday. I
yeah.
feel like the Saturday we always get more, for sure.
Did we write down how much paint we used this year?
Yeah, we do. We know.
We did have to buy some
Trish-
more at one point, right?
Yeah, so Trish brought more cans of paint on Saturday afternoon, but we didn't get through them all. So I think what was our usage? Our usage was like 62 or something?
I think it was 42.
Pardon me, 42.
Yeah.
But there was like,
48 total cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have 5 left over than
Yeah.
not enough,
Yeah.
but.
yeah. Sure.
If we do it on one day, would we need more paint?
It should be the same amount of paint every year, but it's not. It varies. I think it depends on how, it might even be how we deliver our introduction to tree painting. Like what our focuses are seem to trickle into how everybody, you know, for
It could-
example, if we're really focusing more on the scrub the tree, there may be more tree scrubbing than painting or whatever, you know what I mean? It might just vary that way. And it helps to inform how we intro the event too. Like, this is what we really want you guys to focus on. And then they, you know, I mean, one thing I was thinking about in terms of that, an example was, making sure that they got enough paint on there, like a thick coat of
Mhm.
paint on there, you know? And, it does look like that happened.
I think,
You don't
That
have to
was
scrub it
gorgeous.
as well if you use a ton of paint.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we might have talked about it, Brian, before, but the new brushes too might
Oh.
put on more paint.
For
You know, so then they're
sure.
going through more paint because of that.
Really
Which
good
is,
point.
it's fine. It's a
Yeah.
good amount of paint on there for protection. So
Yeah.
it's not too much.
That was a major improvement.
And there's other things that impacted obviously too, like the brand new baby trees all over the main roads, Litchfield and Wigwam. We don't touch them, although some of those got painted,
They did.
some of the little tiny ones. But generally speaking, you know, there'll be a few years before they really need to get painted, right? So just some thoughts and considerations moving forward, and I'm sure we'll be able to pull up our notes when the time comes to start discussing the next round. Just a big thank you to everybody from, you know, the volunteers team to, of course, Trish, who's just always there. She was the first one there every day and the last one to leave, I think, which is pretty awesome.
Well, you guys were incredible this year too, above and beyond in some of the stuff you did, so. I think every year we've just all been doing more and more to try and make it better and better, so. Hopefully with a couple people from Public Works, Public Grounds next year. And if we can shift the date to February and make it one day, I think it'll make it even better and more efficient, so.
I have one more thing to add. I think we should consider a different location. Like not at the city hall.
Oh, right.
It didn't work out as good this year. Some hiccups, and I don't know where that would be, but maybe we could get somewhere that's more central to where the trees are.
But it's gotta have power and water. Oh,
That's the trick, the
I mean-
power and the water.
Yeah, I would guess that most of the parks have power and water that we could get. I mean,
Tap
the
into.
landscape. Public Works has to get it somehow.
That is the only park that's not like on the periphery. Even that's,
Maybe a couple parks, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just throwing it
Something
out
to
there.
think about,
but City Hall's always kind of, I don't know, weird having all that paint in a office parking lot. Yeah,
It would be nicer, I think, just as a staff member to not have to let all the public into
Yeah.
City Hall too,
Right.
so.
that
We
too.
could funnel
It's a really
them to
good
one
point,
of the park bathrooms or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe we can evaluate that too
Yeah,
with enough foresight.
Right on. Are there any other questions, comments? Reflective statements?
good ideas and good event.
mhm.
Yeah. The T-shirts were good this year too.
The yellow came through pretty well.
Yeah.
I like the yellow. Do we have a T-shirt set aside for Commissioner Schwartz?
We do have a T-shirt set aside.
Nice. In the right size?
I think so, but yeah, we've got options, so.
All right. So, moving on. Yard of the Quarter program presenter is me. Discussion and possible action related to the Yard of the Quarter program. I believe we left off with, just making sure that we considered different names for the Yard of the Quarter, and then if we want to just keep it at Yard of the Quarter, that's fine too, whatever we decide, and then moving forward, that's just what it is. And structurally, I think that we had answered a lot of the questions that we had. I know Vice Chair Phillips had a few more things that she was gonna say too, right?
Mhm.
So I'll hand it over to you now.
Right. I think in my head, we really need to come to a conclusion on this because it's kind of been dragging on for a long time. So I'd really like everybody to maybe focus on finishing this so that it can have its new focus. I have come up with a couple of different names, and I think my favorite one is Pride in the Park. Another couple are Hearts and Homes of Litchfield Park, Love Where You Live. Those are three that I came up with. I just think that to take the focus, the program is a community-wide program, a recognition program, honoring the residents who take pride in their homes, their yards, their garden, and the unique character of our historic city, right? We can access almost every park as just, Joe's citizen, not all of them. So these people, because they do care for and preserve their yards, and yards, I would use that term loosely because I consider the condos, what they have out in front too, is a yard. They may not have grass, they may not have shrubs, but it's still their yard because it's the front of their house. And they keep the charm and the spirit of Litchfield Park, which is a big deal to me, the charm and the spirit alive for everyone. One of my main goals is to kind of take away the competitive nature of it and just make it more of a honor, not necessarily award. So that's why I like Pride in the Park might be my first one. And so we would celebrate that home. We wouldn't necessarily go, you're number one, but we would celebrate that home because they've shown that they care, they've worked hard in their yard, they've respected what Litchfield Park is and was, and they've been creative, and they obviously love our city. I also think that that format that we talked about last time that Christoph came up with, I am a big fan of, and that is each quarter, one of us brings a home to the rest of the commission for approval. My only question there is, what happens when we have a citizen nomination? Does that nomination just get brought in with the one that the commissioner has presented and we vote that way? Or what happens? So.
I have an idea on that too.
Okay, so.
Hear from everybody else first.
I mean, if anybody, I don't know. I just don't want to make it a competitive award situation. So.
Have you heard from citizens that it seems competitive?
Yes.
Like, really?
Well, I have
It
asked,
doesn't feel that way to me, but I don't know.
well, because I don't understand how it works. So I've asked people who live here, I've asked people who live in other states, and I've explained it to them. And a lot of people just go, you really do that? And I said, yeah, we really do that. And I think the feeling I've gotten is that in this day and age, it's just a little bit judgy. But I don't know. And we don't get full participation either from all of us. All the time. So that's why I kind of like the one person, one quarter, one house.
Also about the name, what if we did like a subtitle to it? Just throwing it out there. Because like, I don't know, yard of the quarter defines what it is. Like anybody can hear that and understand what it is, but maybe we can put like
Parenthetically,
parenthetically, like, hey, we're just celebrating.
the award
We're not
formerly
judging
known
you.
as Yard of the Quarter.
Like a yard of the quarter celebrating homeowners that take care of their house.
Right on. Pride in the Park? I think you mentioned that before. I really like that name. I would like to hear from everybody on this though.
I think if you ask somebody, you said, hey, I want yard of the quarter, and they're gonna know what you're talking about. If you said, I want pride in the park, I'm not gonna know what you're talking about. When you're explaining, you're losing. So I just don't think I get where you're coming from. I just don't think it's specific enough to what we're trying to achieve.
Well, we put Yosha in charge of that. She makes it a big deal that it's a new program and we're changing the name.
You're explaining you're losing though, right? If we have to brand it, if we have to sell the name.
I don't think we're losing to that many people.
I think it could be
Can I throw in some 2 cents?
read in another way as well.
Of course, go ahead.
Thank you. So I think Brian and I both kind of mentioned this a couple months ago. Neither one of us really even knew much about the program as a community person, like a member of the community. So while there are members of the community who know about it, I think, in my opinion, there's more members of the community who don't know about it. So revamping it and redoing it is probably not a bad idea to get more people on board and more people, wanting to be that pride of the park.
I got half. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, most of the people that know about it honestly have won.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
We've
And
tried to
some
put
of
it
them
on-
probably didn't even know about it necessarily. They just found out about it because of the nomination.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I think it's an
that's-
opportunity. I just think it's an opportunity to redo it all the way around and get, just get people actually knowing that this thing exists.
I don't think that's for lack of attempting via social media though, because we've gone through spurts of that.
I just think it's time for an update.
So if you guys remember, we tried to not do it anymore and we were told we
Yeah.
have to continue doing it. I personally don't think it's that important to me. And I don't think it's that important to the community, but we're asked to do it. So we should do it, but I like the name Yard of the Quarter personally. I think it's simple. You know what it is when you hear it. You don't have to explain it. I agree with all that. I think we should just keep it simple and keep it going as it is personally. I don't think we need to reimagine it and put a lot of effort behind it because I don't think it's that important to the community. And I don't necessarily, personally, I don't think we need to put extra emphasis around it, personally.
So do you think we need to keep the same format that we're using to select it?
That we already changed.
We already.
We changed that,
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
So
Maybe we
then
separate out the two things. I'm sorry. Like, is everyone good with the format?
I'm good with the format except for my question about what happens when there's a citizen nomination.
Okay.
Well, we already did it last time, didn't we?
No, we haven't
Yes.
done anything with it. Here it is, and yet we had Christoph brought a house.
Okay, that's right.
So we're supposed to decide, so that's my question. Then do we pick between those two?
No,
you
we
know,
should
if-
still pick one and add it in and.
So that's what I'm saying. So then we would have two to choose from rather than just the one to approve.
If it's
Yeah.
up to the
Right?
commissioner
Yeah.
whose turn it is, they might just say, hey, great, someone's done my work for me. Or
Okay.
they might go, you know what, I think I saw something that really needs to be recognized. And leave it at that, right? But I think that we need to make really sure that they're aware of the nomination, just to
Yeah.
ensure that that's not just like, oh, I didn't know, right?
Yeah. Okay, so it would come as a second house.
No, the commissioner would choose to,
Which one?
if they want to do that one, or if they want to do it,
Okay.
it'd be up to that commissioner.
Okay.
Or if the commissioner had 4 that were brought in, then they could choose from those or choose another one.
Yeah, because when I did it last time, I picked something we'd already done. I didn't know. So I had a couple backups and I think it's never bad to have.
I think in a general sense, we would all agree that having the community nominate is a really good idea because it pulls them into
Mhm.
like, just community participation in something that we haven't had a ton of community participation in the past.
We are the community though.
Yeah, and this is something, that if it comes down to us every 3 months, then it does come down to us every 3 months.
The more we can do to not have us have to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, I'd agree that like we can do more social we can try, right? We've tried in the past. I'm not a social media expert, so I don't know how to best do that. But. All right, so then on the means, I think we're set. On the name, I'm happy to keep it the way it is. Like I understand your perspective on it. I don't necessarily share the anti-competitive tendency, like, 'cause I think as a culture, we have lots of competitions. We have singing competitions, we have dancing competitions, we have all kinds of competitions. It's like, I think it's one of the things that we're defined as more than not having competitions. So I don't know if you guys want to take a motion on it or not, but I'd motion to keep the name as the Art of the Quarter.
I
I
think
would
you
second
need to
that.
resolve it tonight for
I
sure.
agree.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, I say, please, let's
Yeah, get it
let's
over.
get this over with today so we can move forward with doing what council has asked.
Do we need action on, so we basically need action on 2 things from what I'm hearing, right? The first is who is are we nominating the home that Christoph came to the table with last time, or was that nomination?
It's already been
That's
put in.
That was already put in, right? Okay, so, and that person won, correct?
Yes, you've got that, so you've got, at the last meeting, I let you guys know that we did receive a citizen nomination.
Mhm.
And so, we've actually received another one, but I didn't present it today. I wanted you guys to resolve how you want to move forward with the name. So at the next meeting, those 2 citizen nominations will be available. And I think Andy
Mhm.
has, said that she's doing.
I'll bring one.
Yeah, so she's the next commissioner to be bringing,
And you would just make sure she has the two that were submitted in case that's what she wants.
yes, so we can do that in advance each time.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, I think part of the discussion coming into this was, well, what if we had 3 homes that we wanted to put forth as a yard of the quarter?
I think it's up to that commissioner on if they want to bring 3, we can talk about it. I think they got to bring 1. I don't know that we.
I think that I thought that you guys had already decided you were gonna stick with
Just
just
stick with
one,
one
yes.
that we put forward.
Yes. Yep.
We do have I made a motion and we have a second, though,
Yeah.
so I don't know if we want to address that.
So the motion on the floor is that we are going to keep the name Yard of the Quarter indefinitely.
Well,
And
Until Andy.
And I don't know if it needs that qualifier, or like for now, until we change our.
for now, until,
City council comes to their senses and we don't have to do it.
I think you've just got a
Until
motion
then,
yeah.
to keep
the
the Yard of
name.
the Quarter as the name.
Yeah. That's
okay. So is there any more questions or comments?
Did we have a second on that one already?
I did say.
We did. We have a first and a second.
Let's say if a commissioner really wants to add a subtitle to the name, then
No.
I wouldn't guess that anyone would be opposed to it.
Personally, don't think it's needed at this time.
Okay, so what we're about to vote on is keeping the name Yard of the Quarter without a subtitle or without anything like that would follow up. Correct?
Yes.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Me.
Hey,
So that's a 3-2. So the ayes have it. So we'll move forward with Yard of the Quarter as the name.
Was it 4-2?
Did you vote?
Yeah, it was 4-2, I think.
Yeah.
I voted in favor of keeping everything the same. Okay. Next. Commissioners report on current events. Commissioner Colbreth.
Just one last time, want to echo that I think the app is going good. I know we already talked about it, but just wanted to revisit again and encourage anyone that hasn't looked at it. I think it's interesting to see the kinds of things that the community is interested in and reporting. And I would encourage everyone on the commission to report things when you see them, because I think it's a useful tool.
I'll second that. Love the app, love the staff's responsiveness on there. The staff is doing it, well, I should say, the landscaping crews are doing a much better job than I am on their yards, like on the grass and keeping things alive. I don't know how, like I'm struggling, but it looks nice. And the city square looks really nice right now as well. I like that, like we're really keeping that nice and crisp and clean.
I have nothing.
Well, I just downloaded that app, looking forward to using it, and I think it'd also be neat if it was like a kudos section, so it's not just
There is.
super names.
There is.
There is. All right, I'm gonna try to use that.
Commissioner Giordano? I said it wrong again, didn't I?
you were so close this time. I didn't even notice.
Right.
Nothing much from me. I think the city looks beautiful. The tree painting was a lot of fun. I will just bring up, like I bring up in every single meeting, the speeding on Old Litchfield Road. I know that the report went out about it in the village and people are really happy about some of the speeding that has been, I don't know, kind of sort of fixed, but Old Litchfield is still a racetrack and really dangerous. So that's my 2 cents again on the whole speeding thing. And that's it.
Hopefully that gets looked at closely and we see some positive change there. Just my, big thank you to everybody from the city and all the volunteers that came out for tree painting day. Generally speaking, all the events have been pretty amazing. It's nice to see everybody like kind of filtering into the middle of the park for all the different events that we have going on. And you don't realize how big it is, I guess, is a really something that I keep wanting to kind of mention is that the City Square Park? Is that we settled on City Square? Was that what it was?
Litchfield Square?
Litchfield Square, pardon me.
Yeah.
Litchfield Square Park. It's huge, and I don't think I really until you see like 1,000 or 2,000 people there, you don't realize quite how big it is. So such a big thank you to everybody from the city who's maintaining and putting all those events together. And as always, thank you to Trish, who is there for every event, every Saturday. She doesn't miss a Saturday. So thank you. Are there any questions or comments before we get ready to wrap things up here? I don't think we have any topics for referral to city council, do we? Okay. So that being said, we are adjourned.